One of the big stories this past week has been the state of the welterweight division. So you'll recall Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw. That was the original main event for UFC 233. UFC decided to move it from January 26th to January 19th. It's now the headliner for the Brooklyn show, the debut on ESPN+. As a result, all kinds of talk about the welterweight division, all kinds of talk about Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren and Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Dana White weighing in on Friday, as he likes to do, but I wanted to hear from the champ himself. So without further ado, let us say hello to the chosen one, Tyron Woodley, who is standing by. Tyron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ariel. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Always a pleasure to have you on. I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Tyron, because I know a lot of people want to hear from you and in particular about what's next for you and where you're at. It's never a dull moment with you, Tyron. Why can't you just chill and come back like everyone? Like, why does it always have to be a roller coaster of emotions leading up to whenever your fight gets announced?
You know, I just chosen myself personally to alleviate as much of that roller coaster as I can for myself. I can only control what I can control, Ariel, and that's going out there and giving you guys the performances that you guys have come to know. And sometimes, you know, it's a chess match. Sometimes it's a knockout. But I'm always in there trying to finish a fight and trying to just show dominance. While you're doing that, you know, sometimes I throw punches. I'm trying to somebody up. My hand get messed up. My shoulder gets torn. My foot get broke. It's a part of the game. There's not a situation where I'm getting injured in practice or training and I don't make it to the octagon. I try to get to the octagon as healthy as I can, as clear-minded as I possibly can, and go out there because everybody's trying to come for your belt, and you got to consistently go out there and put on a performance. So I've been blessed to be injury-free through most of my camps. You know, everybody has those nagging injuries. But when you have a surgery-worthy injury in 3 of your last 4 fights, and, you know, 2 of them being world title fights, and you still find a way to win, I just think people don't understand the type of mindset it takes when you throw one kick at Kelvin Gastelum and you shatter your foot in the first strike, not the first kick, the first thing that's ever thrown from both of us in a fight. You break your foot, you know, grossly in 2 spots, and you still find a way to win. You tear your labrum in the beginning of Damon Maya, and you still find a way to win. And, you know, I dislocated my hand against Darren Till's head in a fight, and I resorted to elbows. So now we saw me dig down deep and use a tool that you guys haven't seen me use much of. That's what a champion does. What a champion doesn't do, he doesn't go out there with the injury. He doesn't go out there knowing that he's not 100% and roll those dice, because if I go out there and, you know, my hand's not ready to go and I fight Colby Covington and I come up short that night, nobody's going to care that my hand's hurt. Colby Covington is going to be nanny, and he'll never fight me again, because, you know, the only chance he can beat me if I'm lacking in one department or if I'm not 100%. Outside of that, it's virtually impossible for him to beat me. Like, what is he going to do to me? So I've agreed to fight Colby. I've agreed to fight really anybody. That's the funny part. I just asked for a little bit more time before I can confirm. I've never said no to January 26th. Let's get that on record. Never. I actually want to fight in Anaheim. I'm undefeated in Anaheim. I do a lot of training, do a lot of television. You know, I got a lot of strong roots in California, so it would be silly. It's almost a second home to me. It would be silly for me not to want to fight there. I just asked for a little bit more time where I can actually go to my doctor tomorrow in Pensacola, Florida, have him evaluate my hand, and let him, the expert, not the people that are, you know, in a how do I say this politically correct? I'm about to say, I'm trying to say something without, you know, saying what I really want to say. What I really want to say is that the card needs a headliner, and I get it. And I would love to be that person that can step up and tell you right now, this moment, that I can do it for you. I've done that against Dong Young Kim. I did that with Darren Till. A lot of people don't know. The Darren Till fight, I made that fight happen. That was not an ideal situation for me. I made that happen. So I've stepped up for the UFC many, many, many times. But at one point, you got to start monitoring your legacy, monitoring your title run, monitoring the way that you want to be remembered. I don't want to be remembered as a guy that lost a fight to Colby Covington or anybody else because he knew he wasn't 100%, or wasn't given the chance to at least go to the physician that performed the surgery on his hand and get his clearance. I haven't been cleared. Like, I have to get cleared by the doctor. So I'm trying to scramble right now, Ariel, and switch some things around. As you know, I just fucking red-eyed back to St. Louis. I'm about to maybe red-eye to freaking Pensacola, Florida tomorrow to see what the doctor says, and then we'll see. But I've agreed to fight everybody, and I want the world to know that I take pride in being at the top of the Woodley weight division. I take pride in being the best welterweight in the world, and I don't make money if I don't fight. So if y'all think I want to sit around and you think I make enough money in music or TV or movies, you guys got life messed up. I make my money in fighting. And that's where, I do the best at, and I recognize it's my season right now. And that's what I'm prepared to do. So never said no to January 26th. Sounds like it still may be on the table, may not be on the table. I don't know. But I'm not gonna just go out there and fight for money. I'm going out there to fight for legacy first, and then money gonna come with it.
I appreciate you laying everything out like that. I think it's important to ask you about your hand. After the Darren Till fight, you had surgery on your hand, right? So you need to wait for the doctor to clear you from that surgery. How is the hand feeling right now?
I just left from strength and conditioning. It's the first week where I'm starting to grip things, and it doesn't feel great. But the thing about a hand is so many nerves, so many tendons in that area that you can rehab the mess out of it. In 2 weeks, I can feel like, oh my God, it feels so great. I just can't dictate that right now, and that's the dilemma that we're having. Is they need to promote the fight, and they need to make a poster. They need to get the machine behind it. But I can't confidently give them an answer until I talk to a doctor. But I appreciate you asking about my hand. A lot of people have not asked about my hand. they don't really give a fuck how my hand feels. They just want me to fight. They just want me to go out there and fill a spot. And I'm not a guy. I haven't built myself up to the point where I'm at, and I'm still going. I'm not even where I'm going to end up. That's the good part about me. I recognize I'm not the final product yet. I'm still getting better. I'm not the finished version. I'm showing different things about me in every fight, and I got to go out there and I gotta do what I need to do, and I'll do that soon. I'll fight in the first quarter of the year, whether it's January, February, March. I'll fight in the first quarter of the year, and no opponent has been turned down by me.
As you know, UFC President Dana White is a very powerful man, and when he comes out and is openly criticizing you, I know you don't want to get into this public back and forth with them anymore. At the end of the day, you have to work in unison. How frustrating is that when you're laying it all out like this? You're saying you're going to fight. It's not your fault that they don't have a main event for January 26th. In every other fight sport, it's not like, hey, let's fill the slot. It's okay. When are you ready? When is he ready? Let's make the fight. And yet it seems like your thumb is being questioned and all this stuff. Like, is that difficult for you? Is it difficult for you to bite your tongue and to not lash out?
It used to be difficult, but it's not difficult any longer, because at the end of the day, I have to ask my question: has it ever helped my cause? Has it ever helped me? Has it ever moved me forward? It's never really moved me forward. And I can say truth all day until I'm blue in the face. Everybody don't want to hear truth. You don't know. There's a handful of people that want to hear the real story of what's going on. There's a handful of people that just want to hear you say, I'll fight anybody, anytime. I don't care if my knee hurt. I don't care if my shoulder hurt. I'll fight, anybody. And that's great, and it sounds so cool, and you sound such savage when you say it. But what happens when you get your ass whipped? You think those same people are going to say, oh, you know what? You lost, but there's no asterisk. You lost, dog. There's no but. Nobody's going to come back and say, oh, he lost, but his hand was messed up. No, they're going to move on. The person that beat you is going to advance. His career is going to take a step forward. And you're going to either be in the same spot or go a step back. So I just listen. Like, I try not to listen to anything, to be honest, Ariel. I'm so busy, man. I'm finishing up an album, my man. I got an album that's dropping at the top of the year. I'm trying to align it to release when I fight. I've been working hard on that. And this thing I couldn't avoid, because so many people message me, so many people send me the link, so many people talking about it. So I said, let me see what was said. But what I saw on the thing was, Tyron Woodley, when does he ever want to fight? Okay? So I can just key in on that. I can defend myself, and I can say, well, what are you talking about? I can say, well, I can do all that. But if you really listen to what was said, Robbie Lawler wouldn't mind more time because his knee needs more time to recover. That sounds like an exception and a pass given to Robbie Lawler. Rose Namajunas is not ready to fight because of her neck. It sounds like a pass was given to her. I don't know if I'm, misquoting what was said, but if I'm correct, if I'm saying it correctly, Robbie Lawler tore his knee up in the fight against RDA. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
How long has it been since he fought?
Actually, I believe it's a year this weekend, so it'll be essentially 365 days.
So it's been a year, and I've had an ACL surgery, I've had labor and surgeries, and every time that I have a major surgery that's scheduled to maybe take 6 to 8 months to recover, I'm being pressed to fight 4 or 5 months, or to not get the surgery at all. You just quote-unquote tough it out. So there's been times where I was almost about to fight Colby Covington without the surgery in November. I mean, I was about to fight Nick Diaz a year before for the New Year's Eve card without getting a labor and surgery done. These are the things that you guys don't know about. These are the fights that I've committed to or was on a borderline of stepping out and taking these fights. Knowing that I need a surgery, MRI showing torn ligaments, and I was a game guy that was going to step up and take these fights. So when you give a pass to Robbie Lawler who hasn't fought in a year, and you say that, he wouldn't be mad if we take the fight from, him and have Usman or Ben or somebody fight. He needs more time to recover. Or Rose Namajunas. Or Robert Whitaker hasn't fought. Or Paige Van Zandt was such a beast when she fought, even though she lost. And Paul Felder, he fought with an injury and kept on. The only thing different between me and those guys, I won my fight. I won my fights with injury. Had to make adjustments on the fly. Was willing to fight injured without surgery many, many times. And I never said no to June. When RDA and Kobe fought, I never said no to that date. I just said that I had surgery December 19th. And in January, it's very tough for me to tell you if I can fight in June, which would have been 6 months after the surgery, which it takes 6 to 8 months just to heal alone. That's known putting together 6 to 8 week training camp. So these are the things that I know to be true. My management team knows to be true. The UFC knows to be true. And what I love for the fans to know everything, yeah, but it's not really going to change much. All I got to do is just go out there, whoop somebody ass again, and then everything is going to change. How crazy did the dynamic change after I beat Darren Till? Everything changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking with a different tone. Everybody was, on my side. And I recognize that just for my path and journey and just the deck of cards that I'm dealing with, just go out there and whoop somebody's ass. If Kobe wants to talk back and forth at the press conference, I'm going to embarrass him and make him look stupid. So let's do that. You want to do that? Let's do that. If they want me to fight him, after I fight him, most likely I'm probably going to fight Usman. After I fight him, we'll take a step back. I mean, what else can I do in a division? I beat everybody. Maybe I'll go up and beat up on Robert Whitaker or Gaston. Maybe I'll do a super fight. Who knows? But I'm just going to focus on what's in front of me. As I know, I was supposed to be fighting Colby Covington.
What about this interim title talk? And in particular, is it weird because both you and Ben Askren have said you're not going to fight each other, but yet he's campaigning for an interim title. Your boys, your friends, former teammates, training partners, is that awkward?
It's not awkward, man. Ben's helped me, man. He's helped me to get ready for every fight since Kelvin Gastelum. He's been an instrumental part of my training camp. If he locks in a fight with, Kamar Usman, I can't hate on him. I'm gonna get in the gym. I'm gonna help him out because, I'm probably the best body type that he can have to get him ready to fight a Kamar Usman. So I'm gonna get in camp and I'm gonna help him out and help him train. His goals are different than mine. What he want to do is separate, and it's room for everybody. So I'm just gonna go and focus on what I'm doing. He's a friend of mine, my wrestling coach. So if it comes down to the point where he needs my help, he's been there for me. You got to think Damian Maya and all these different Gastelum and all these people that I built confidence on, just knowing that I had Ben Askren in my corner. If he needs me, I'm gonna be honored to go in there and help him. And it'd be the first time, in his MMA career where I can actually finally help him for a change. So, I just think of everything separate.
Okay, what if they did an interim title fight with Ben Askren? Would you fight him?
I mean, it's to the point like this. Interim titles, to me, are a joke. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, I fought 3 months ago.
Right.
And not only did I fight 3 months ago, I my hand up in the fight, and I kept going, and I won. And I nearly beat the brakes off this kid that y'all put out there that y'all thought was going to be the next great white hype. And I got this kid's ass whooped. What's going to happen is y'all going to get somebody hurt. Constantly building up fake animosity, fake stories, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give somebody the ass whooping that they don't even deserve because of all this stuff. Interim title, if a person fought in September and they're doing everything within their power, stem cell, PRP, acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractic work, everything physically possible, soft tissue massage to try to get back as fast as they can, that's all I can really do. So what else can I do? If the company wants to do an interim title, can I really stop them, number one?
No.
If I complain, everybody's going to say I'm complaining. Everybody's going to say I'm race baiting. Everybody's going to say, he's whining. Just fight. Because there's so many fights that go on a weekly basis that it's hard to even keep up. 2 or 3 fights a month. Like, this is going to blow over by next week. Somebody's going to do something bonehead next week, and you guys, we're not even going to be talking about me no more. We're going to be talking about somebody else. And that's what I got to recognize in our sport. The news is big for like a week or two, and that's it.
Right.
So if I want to go out there and just fight and just commit right now to a fight that I don't know if I'll be prepared for, just to stop the fans and people from hounding me for a week or two, I'm an idiot, and I deserve whatever comes to me from making those choices.
But you said you're going this week to see your doctor to potentially get cleared. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I was supposed to go anyway. I was supposed to go on the 12th, see the doctor. They got to do a consultation. Then the 13th, I was going to be put on there, get stem cell injected into my hand. I miscalculated. I double booked myself. So I'm working the UFC on Fox in Milwaukee. It's the last Fox card. I'm going to actually be in Milwaukee. So now I'm talking with my doctor to see if it's possible for me to come in on the 12th, do a consultation, have them do the procedure on the 13th, and fly out the same day to Milwaukee so I can make some, always being on time, doing your press stuff like the champion's supposed to do, doing some press stuff in Milwaukee. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now. I'm scrambling around trying to get it done. But I just let them know last week, when they switched the card, Dillashaw and Cejudo, they obviously need a main event. I love that they want to call me. I love that they want me to be that guy to step up. And when I'm healthy, I'm always the guy to do it. I've never not stepped up for the UFC when I was healthy. But I don't think it's fair that every single time, like September 8th or any other card that it's a dilemma and they need somebody to fill in, I'm the only one that gets scrutinized if I so happen not to be able to fight for any reason. You don't hear Robert Whittaker getting scrutinized. You didn't hear Michael Bisping when he sat out and he didn't fight forever until the GSP fight happened. I'm the only one. You know what I mean? I'm the only one that gets that type of, Rose Namajunas' neck is hurt. She couldn't fight. Robbie's been out for a year. He couldn't fight. Paige couldn't fight. Paul Felder couldn't fight. Yeah, it's a sport. We get hurt. And that's the solution to the problem. And I'm not trying to be a matchmaker. I'm not trying to tell the UFC what to do. But I feel like the solution to the problem is not forcing or making an athlete feel bad for not being able to physically, step in for a fight that they need them for, but it's to really get a better rubric. If I'm fighting against Colby, Ben and Usman should be fighting. Ponzinibbio and somebody else should be fighting, all on the same card.
Yeah.
If I get hurt or Colby get hurt, Usman or Ben step up. If they win and I win and everybody's healthy, then now we're on the same exact time schedule to make it the next fight.
Yeah.
But when you have guys fighting and filling and jumping weights and doing this, it becomes you constantly going to be scrambling for every card. There's going to come a point where everybody's going to be unavailable. And what do you do at that point? Do you cancel a whole card? Do you make it a fighter's fault? We had to cancel the card because you didn't step up and fight this fight that you weren't ready for. I think the entertainment and the sport need to cohesively go together. We're doing too much entertainment now, and it's up the sports side of the game. Think about this.
Yep.
An interim title, RDA, and Kobe. I hadn't even been out a year.
Yeah.
First time in UFC history that an interim title has been put in place and a fighter hadn't been out for a year. Okay? They fight. Kobe refused to fight me on September because he wants to fight in November because he thought he was going to make more money. They called his bluff. They said, well, we'll let somebody else fight. He said, cool. But now he still charades around, still go to the White House, still act like he's the interim champion. They take his belt. Now it's a circus. Now I go out there and fight, and I just fight, dominate, up-and-coming striker that's huge for the weight that everybody thought had the ingredients to beat me. Now, after I fight him 3 months later, you want to put another interim title when your champion is telling you he will fight Kobe, he will fight Usman, he will fight anybody, but I just cannot tell you on Friday. I need to go to the doctor on Tuesday to see if I can fight. That's all we're talking about. Like, what other sport?
None.
What other sport does that?
None.
No other sport.
Absolutely none. And even if you do get cleared, let's say you get cleared this week, January 26th, is that enough time for a camp, for a fight of this magnitude? Is that enough time? Now we're talking essentially a month and change.
My dilemma is this. I like to try to go in camp as healthy as possible. There will be a situation where I will basically be rehabbing and camping at the same time, which obviously would tell you that my camp is going to be altered, and I'm going to have some limitation. I'm going to have to get creative. Because if there's things that I'm limited that I can't do because of my gripping strength, it's really the gripping strength. Like, for me to take I wish Skype was working for you guys today, but for me to take my thumb to my pinky, if that's a challenge, and I'm going to be going against whoever I fight next in my division is going to be a wrestler. They're not going to try to stand up with me. They're going to try to wrestle me. Kamaru Usman is not going to stand up with me. He can say whatever he wants to. He knows he would get knocked the out if he tried to stand up with me. So will Kobe. They both are going to try to wrestle me. They're going to try to grind me. They're going to try to put me against the cage. They're going to try to make it a pressure match, try to get close. They're going to try to stay glued to me the whole fight. If I don't have the proper gripping strength to grab, to disengage, to underhook, to use my hands, to evade takedowns, I'm putting myself at a disadvantage. If it was a fight against Nate Diaz or somebody like that that's not going to be grappling, that is a striking fight, I'm confident that me throwing a punch with a ball fist is not going to put my thumb in the same jeopardy as if I post my hand on the ground to try to get up, or if I push away on the neck, or if I try to grab a wrist, or if I try to get an underhook. Those things right now, I couldn't imagine doing that right now today. Like, that don't even sound like something I would even think about doing right now, just the way my thumb's feeling.
Good luck, Tyron. I'm sorry that you're going through this again. I pray one day that you just have... Yeah.
I'm not really going through it. I'm going to be honest with you. Like,
okay.
I'm like, I appreciate you. Give me the opportunity to tell the fans. But to be honest, I'm living life right now, man. I'm working my ass off. I just canceled strength conditioning. I'm walking into rehab as we speak. Very positive in the mind. And I just know what I can and I can't do. And I won't be pressured into a situation unless I can talk to a doctor and see if it's something I can legitimately do. So I'm doing what I can do. When I go out there and I whoop somebody's ass and I win, I'm 100% positive the fans are going to be behind me. The organization's going to have to push me like they should push me. And, it's only so long. I mean, look at my resume. What else I got to do? No.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us. I think you just fought in September. When is Tyron Woodley going to take a fight? I mean, what more do you have to say? You just fought in September. Good luck this week, Tyron. Let us know how it goes if you can, with the hand, with your doctor, and hopefully that this all gets resolved and you're able to come back on your timeline when you're healthy, because this is too big of a fight to just, pull together at the last minute.
It's a big opportunity.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Tyron. Thank you so much. There he is, Tyron Woodley, welterweight champion of the UFC, coming on to clear the air. I appreciate him coming on. I appreciate him talking about all this. I don't think he has to come on and talk about all this. Even if you didn't know the backstory, even if you didn't know what he was dealing with, behind the scenes with the UFC brass. Just the fact that the man fought in September is enough to just chill. It's not Tyron Woodley's fault that there's no main event for January 26th. It's not any fighter's fault. Now, it's great when people step up. It's great when people save the day. But it's not their fault that there are too many events. It's not their fault that they had to move Cejudo Dillashaw to January 19th in order to have a main event for the Brooklyn card. It's not their fault. It's not his fault. It's no one's fault. And let's be honest. The second Tyron Woodley loses that belt, it's going to be very hard to get a rematch.